Okay.
Bop, bop, beep, bop, bop.
Hi.
Hey.
Welcome back to another episode of Beaker Bros.
We're the Beaker Bros. Hey.
Hi.
I'm Jaanuni.
I'm Sonia.
You may know us as the Beaker Bros.
And behind the camera this time we have Rio.
Hey.
This episode's gonna be a little different because we're gonna do.
Oh no, you can keep talking.
We're gonna do a little, I guess. What's it called? What did you say? A year.
Yeah, just like a year in the life. Also,
Year in the life. A little recap.
Do you mind if I take the video and put you in the just to show that you're behind the? If you're uncomfortable.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna do a little year recap, I guess. A lot's happened in a year. Can't believe a year has gone by already. To be honest, I felt like January, I already left for the Netherlands, and somehow I'm back here. It's December. It's insane to think of how much has changed. I can't imagine for you guys how that's been too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're gonna go into a little deep dive into what we've been up to and a little reflecting moment.
You know what I find? How do I say this? So when you're younger, it feels like time goes by really slow. But the older you get, time starts going by quicker.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's relative to how long you've been on Earth. So for example, a year when you're 5 years old is 20% of your life. But a year when you're 20 is 5% of your life.
Yeah.
So because does that make sense?
No, I get it.
No?
It's comparatively, it feels like such a time. It's okay, that happens, and you're okay, on to the next. But when you're a kid, you're very much oh my god, this is a whole year, but it's 20% of your life, so it feels longer.
Did that make sense for you?
Yeah. I think I'm making some sense here now.
Yeah. Okay. But anyways, with that little anecdote, if you will, let's talk about our years.
Well, I mean, I guess starting with me, because
Sure.
Sonia's looking at me deep in the eyes. But let's see. I started off the year by moving to a whole different country. Spent 4 months there, traveling, living probably the best time I've ever had in my life.
Oh, that's wholesome.
It legitimately such a peak, such a high, such a good time. I was still in school, I was on exchange. In case people who don't know that, I was on exchange for my master's program. I was situated in the Netherlands, but I ended up traveling every weekend. I think I hit 12 countries, if I'm not mistaken, during that time. Don't ask me how much I spent. Well, all I know is I hit 12 countries. But it was such a time. It was a good time. I learned a lot in the sense of, I think my whole life I've been very academically inclined, and I still am, but I think
the brain has a lot of folds.
There's folds in the brain.
Yeah.
But one thing that I learned, I think the best lesson I've learned from exchange, from the 4 months, was that I have an identity beyond being a student. And I didn't know that until I was fully immersed in the lifestyle they have there. And even students there, school's at the bottom. Not saying that they don't do well, they're not whatever, but there's so much more to life and so much more in terms of balancing and placing boundaries on, okay, this is when you have to work, this is when you have to do things, whatnot. So I think I've learned a lot, and I definitely have brought that back coming here and kind of navigating, okay, this is what I have to do. Yeah, I'm still cramming things, I'm still procrastinating, but it comes to a point where I'm I am more appreciative of doing life and knowing that if something doesn't go my way in terms of my academia, that's not the end of the world. I know I can try again. I know I can do something differently. I know that there's so much more to me than just being a student. And I feel like my whole life has been that identity, and those 4 months actually allowed me to explore that and explore being grateful for different cultures, different experiences, great food, great people, great memories, doing so much more that really fills my soul. I always make this joke, I swear to God, a piece of me has been left behind in exchange, and every time I look back at it, I'm oh, what a great time. I came back, I finished up my master's, I did my practicum, I wrote my scholarly paper, in last 4 months, I graduated, and I'm done my master's. The fastest master's I've ever done, but I guess that's the biggest.
It's the only master's you've ever done.
But hey, don't say that. Maybe I'll run it back. Who knows? I'll do another. A year from now, maybe I'll do another master's. Who knows?
Pardon me.
But no, yeah. It definitely has been a year that I felt I've lived 3 distinctive lives for sure, and I felt I've learned a lot of lessons, and I guess I can't wait to see what the next year has for me, because if you told me in January what
are you laughing at, Rio?
Say your comments. Say it.
No, it's just a little. No. It was good.
Yeah.
A Christmas miracle that you've made it this far.
Thanks. But no, I generally want to see, 2023 was full of surprises, and it sounds cringe, but, it genuinely has. See? He's laughing. But honestly, you don't know where life's going to be 2024. You tell me, last year that I'll be here, or, I've experienced everything I've experienced, I wouldn't have believed you, but I'm glad that I did.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, you said, the main takeaway from this year, I guess, is the fact that, you no longer see your identity solely in academia or in school.
Mm-hmm.
So then now how do you view your identity if it's not attributed to that solely?
That's just it. I'm just Jaanuni. I'm not Jaanuni something. I'm just Jaanuni. I'm not Jaanuni the work, Jaanuni the student, Jaanuni the great. I'm everything, but also nothing at the same time. I'm just Jaanuni. And I think that's the best way that I've kind of seen myself, because I'm I don't need to be Jaanuni something. I'm just Jaanuni, and I'm multifaceted in that way. I feel like everyone's like that. We have so many identities. Why do we have to stick to, oh my gosh, Jaanuni's good at that one thing, or she can do that, or she's that. I can be that, but I can also be other things. But I don't have to be stuck to one label. Yeah.
Okay.
Just Jaanuni.
What a big year.
Yeah.
Being going from 22 to 23, I feel like
No one likes you at 23. I'm gonna be honest. I'm waiting until 24. Yeah.
what gets better in 24?
You're not 23.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
We quote Blink 182 here.
Yeah.
Well, Rio, let's turn behind the camera first. Folks, we've got Rio here today, and Rio, why don't you give yourself a little bit of an introduction? Because you've been in the background.
I'm still in the background.
Do you want to come in the foreground?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
You can pop by and say hey, a little wave.
That's too intimate.
Okay.
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be like in Mills, that ominous voice whenever it tells you to get out of the library.
They're never gonna know what my face looks like.
Yeah.
He's like the narrator.
Oh, then I'm not, okay, I won't use that
I
little
like
video.
that.
The narrator.
The thing that I just took,
Yeah.
that's not gonna be in the episode. You're just gonna be like an ominous voice.
I like that.
I'll change my name and everything.
Anyways, we'll change. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I graduated from McMaster in 2023 April, and now I'm in Teachers College at York University. And like Jaanuni, it's been, this is weird. I'm looking at you guys. Anyways, just like Jaanuni, I feel like I've lived two lives this year, because I was a student at Mac and now I'm a student at York, and the contrast in the education department between both schools are really different, because one school I'm learning from a teacher and the other school I'm learning how to be a teacher. So
Whoa.
Have you? Oh, sorry. Wait. Did you finish?
no, go ahead.
What, I guess, so in the few months that you've been in Teachers College then, just reflecting upon your university and just time in school from, I guess, when you were, I don't know, 3-4 years old, what do you want to emulate moving forward as you're becoming a teacher from the teachers that have taught you? Is there anything?
There's this idea of cultural relevant pedagogy, if you guys have heard of that. Culturally relevant.
Zoom into my face. It's confusion.
I don't know if that's focused on.
I don't know either.
Sorry, continue.
So cultural relevant pedagogy is just the idea of using or applying your students' kind of background or culture within your classroom and learning environment so that it feels more relevant towards your students. So, for example, the biggest aha moment that happened in my class was when we read this article of a teacher who, in their class, they're reading job professions in their grade 3 classrooms. And those books where there's what job is your parent? Are they a doctor or a lawyer? But then in reality, no, my mom is a stay-at-home mom, or my dad's working at the grocery store. And when the teacher realized that the book that they were reading had these occupations that didn't actually reflect their students' parents, he was thinking it's not that engaging for their students. So when you just start with that and realize this also applies to more than just a job profession book, it could also apply to assignments or readings, stuff that can actually help students be engaged because it's relevant to their culture. So, yeah.
That's, first of all, super interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Second, I feel like that's been a, what's the word? A movement just in, a lot of different professions over the past, I don't know, maybe decade or so, because now it's become more mainstream, I guess, to be culturally competent. Like, for example, in the, like, I'm sure you've also heard, like, culturally competent practice.
Yeah.
Like, in the perspective of healthcare.
Yeah.
Like, just recognizing that the ideals, or, the ideals that physicians and healthcare practitioners in Canada promote about Western medicine is very different than, let's say, Indigenous populations who are much more focused on, like, natural forms of, like, medication, and even in different, amongst different ethnicities, like being South Asian, there's other ways of viewing health that is not just from the perspective of the biomedical model that's often used in, like, formal clinical practice. But, yeah, that's interesting.
I was gonna say, like, in global health, I learned that, like, it's all about cultural competence and just different. It's very interesting to see how the Western view kind of tries to impose it on different parts of the world and whatnot. But it's so important to look at other perspectives too, and kind of seeing, I guess what you said, like, the biomedical framework is what we use in all of science and medicine from our perspective, at least, on others. But it's also important to be cognizant of others.
Yeah, like, learning can often occur in a silo, and that's, like, it's sometimes just the nature of learning. Like, when you're limited with resources, like, you're confined, I guess, to the people that are in your classroom. But that doesn't necessarily have to be a negative, especially like if the students that are in the space that you're learning with are very, like, nuanced in their backgrounds. Like, if you're able, I guess, through the culturally competent, what was it?
Culturally relevant pedagogy.
There we go. Culturally relevant pedagogy. If you're able to, like, take it, not in a negative way, but, like, take advantage, I guess, of the experiences that students have to offer, that just makes learning a lot more productive and creative.
And there's, there's, like, a lot of other points relevant to, we'll call it CRP from now, so we don't have to. Okay. There's a lot of other points, like having a high potential for your student, considering that no matter where they come from, they have the same potential as every student in that class. So, like, we can touch upon those on a different.
That's so interesting.
It is interesting.
For sure.
Like, I remember just in courses that I've taken in the past and, like, other readings that I've done, like, there's, I don't know, just talking about, we don't have to get into it now, but, like, racism in education is so rampant, and even, like, unconscious biases that we have towards certain students of different ethnicities and races is nuts. But we'll go into that later. But
anything else you want to share that you've learned from this year?
Going back to your point about how, like, I'm not a student, I guess. Yeah, because I'm not. Like, I'm a teacher. No, but like, when we were growing up, like, school is what is surrounding us, so we assume that, like, our identity is found in being a student. But then after we graduate, maybe the second time we graduate for you, but we realize that, like, there's more to life than just being a student.
Yeah, I agree. How about you, Sohnia? God
damn, what a year it's been. Where do I begin? Yeah, it's been a fantastic year. Like, I'm now going into my second year of my master's. The planned projection date to be done is April 2024. I think just the main takeaways from this year, there's a lot of people in my life that have entered and a lot of people that have left. And I feel like the people that have now entered my life are so much more conducive and, I don't know, just, like, a lot more fulfilling friendships that I had or that I have now and that I have dropped in this past year. It just makes you happy and more a well-rounded person. But other than that, I've had the fortune of traveling. Saw y'all in Europe. I saw more of Canada this year. What else? Yeah, overall, ADHD, like, learning to navigate that. If you go watch the last episode, that's also been a huge thing. Yeah, it's just a happier, simpler life. The stuff that I cared about last year, I don't necessarily care about this year, and that just creates a lot more headspace for me. I'm vibing. Met people, learned new things, feel more creatively fulfilled. That's my year.
I guess, I want to go around in a circle and just maybe say one thing that you guys are hoping for 2024. Like, an intention. Go, Rio.
You're next.
Okay, I asked a question, though, so you guys answer it.
All right, we can just cut this. Everyone think.
Okay.
I was going to say whoever... No, that's a stupid example. Never mind.
What?
I was going to say like whoever smelt it dealt it. So like whoever spoke it goes first.
Okay, I'll go first. Okay. I think.
I couldn't think of the saying, but you know what I mean.
Okay, my intention for 2024, I think the biggest thing I want to learn, or whatever the right word is that I want to be okay with things I can't control. I think that's the one thing I want to learn, and I think that's one thing I struggle with, but that's what I want to be okay with, and knowing that there's a different path.
Okay.
Okay, your turn, guys.
Wait, can I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah.
What do you think it's going to take you to... What? Hold on. What do you think...
You can ask a question, yeah.
What do you... Use your big girl words, Sonia. Okay. What do you think it's going to take for you to get there?
Well, see, here's the thing. I have a whole year to figure that out.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
I'll let you know when I get there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
If I knew, I think right now I would be at that point.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I see. You know what we should do? You know how, have you ever seen those Vanity Fair, I think it's Vanity Fair, or Variety episodes that Billie Eilish used to do, like, every year?
Yeah.
This should be our version of it.
Are we gonna make it by next year, guys?
Why would you say that?
I'm sorry.
We hope for the best.
Okay, Rio.
Hopefully you're still around.
Yeah.
If not, we'll see you later.
Okay, Rio, go.
Yeah, I didn't even think.
Can't top that off. Can you now?
Jeez, I didn't think of... What was the question again?
Are you looking forward to like?
Or like, what do you want to set? What intention do you want to set with 2024? Like, what do you want to
Right.
learn?
It's this... Honestly, it's the same thing, or... Yeah, same thing that I followed this year. So, just like... I don't know, filling the space more with stuff I enjoy.
Self-love.
Self-love, like, continuing that. So, just, like, continuing to keep my space from other people that aren't fulfilling me.
Yeah.
Gonna continue that.
Yeah.
Just live, laugh, love, you know? You always look like you're on the verge of laughing. Like, am I saying something stupid?
You say something nice, and then you both say something in the end that's just so cringy.
Like, that's good. Nah. Okay, Rio, go.
Along the same lines.
He goes at the end, so he can just copy us. He can't think for himself. God.
No, but just the idea of self-love, like, I feel like I keep saying yes to a lot of stuff. Not to this. This I genuinely want to do.
You couldn't show the face.
Yeah,
There,
his
but-
eyes are wide.
I genuinely wanted to join this, but I don't know. I feel like I've been picking up a lot of responsibilities, and then there's other responsibilities that are also out of my control. So then I have to commit to those ones as well. So maybe, like, I guess being more organized and learning how to say no.
Boundaries.
To wrap this up, I have a couple of quotes on that topic. Sorry, were you done your point?
I'm good.
There's
I don't think he was good.
I have a lot of mottos. Jaanuni has heard me say a lot of these mottos.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to share them with you, Rio, because I don't think you've heard them. And also our audience on the podcast hasn't heard them. First and foremost, if it's important, you make time. And if you're not able to make the time, that means that there's other things filling your life that are not allowing you to make that time, and you need to reevaluate as to whether or not it's worth to keep it around. That's one thing
That's good.
I always say. Second thing I always say, on topic, I'm going to say so many quotes, but time is a non-renewable resource. So going back to, like, wasting your time, if it's not serving you, like, do what you can to get it out of there, because you're not going to ever get that time back. Last thing I'll say for now, even though I can say a lot more quotes. Life is what happens when you're busy making plans. That's from a song by John Lennon, and the song is called Beautiful Boy. It's actually, you're laughing because I've said it before, but I'm saying it again. Life is what happens when you're busy making plans. If you're too busy working, obviously you have to work to make a living, to sustain yourself, to do X, Y, Z. But if you're always focused on the next thing, like, you're just going to be constantly anxious and worried. So live in the moment. Do what you can to fill yourself with the people around you. Live, laugh, love. Be happy.
And with that being said, that is our year-ends recap.
This is going to be probably out at the beginning of the year. So this will be, like, entering the new year, but also, like, recap of 2023.
Hooray.
Bye!
Bye!